Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video about my birth story, about little Miss Lexi here. She's about 3 months and a week old. She was premature. She was born at 32 weeks and 2 days, and she was 3 pounds 7 ounces, 15.7 inches long. So she was very small. But I just want to explain the story about how it happened and what I had and why I had to give birth so early. She was born February 9th, Thursday of 2017. Well, the Saturday before that, I was feeling sick. I think it was just flu related, but it could have been why I gave birth early, I'm not sure. But I was throwing up for about 6-8 hours on and off. So it went away, so I felt better. I just rested all the next day. Monday, I had an appointment for my 32-week day, and they said a lot of stuff was kind of off in my blood work, but they were just thinking it was just because I had the flu, like I said. So I went home that day, and I just continued on as if everything was okay, and I would start to feel better. Well, Monday night after that appointment, I started getting this really bad pain on my upper right rib, and I didn't know exactly what it was. Like, I thought it would just go away because that's what I always think. Stuff's just gonna magically go away. But I just took Tylenol, and it did go away with the pain reliever, but wasn't going away like without it. So Wednesday, I had an ultrasound just to see how big the baby was, and she was they were guesstimating around 3 pounds 10 ounces, but she came out 3.7, so they were pretty close. Wednesday night, I came home. Tylenol stopped working, and I was starting to throw up the Tylenol back up. So I wasn't really sure what was going on. So I went to our local, it's like a hospital, but they don't have like everything. It's just a smaller hospital. But it was already like 12 o'clock at night, and they can't do blood work after a certain time. So it really gave me nothing to go, but I went anyways. And they said, come back tomorrow morning and we'll take you right away and we'll look at it. I went in about 9:30. They took my blood work. For some reason, I could not pee for the life of me. It was taking so long. It took me like an hour just to piss, just enough for it to actually feel enough to take the sample. The blood work came back. It took a while. It took a long time, but it came back. They told me my blood pressure was getting higher. There was protein in the urine, and my blood work, there was still low plate counts, which my whole pregnancy after the second trimester, it was getting kind of low. It was about at 71, I think, when my last appointment on Monday, and they were dropping to like 69, 65. They kept getting lower and lower, so they were like, okay, no, you need to get transferred to a bigger hospital. And that's all they told me at that point. So I had low plate counts, high blood pressure, and all that. It was about 4 o'clock, so they called the ambulance to transfer me. At this point, my fiance was not there all day. He was working. So when I was calling him, he got there at the hospital the time when the ambulance got there to drive me to the other hospital. So he followed in our car behind us. When I got there, I got more blood work done. I got a needle in my leg to make the lungs develop for my baby. They pretty much told me, you're going to have your baby tonight or in the next 48 hours. So that was a shock. I didn't even expect this to happen at all. You know, everything was pretty good in my pregnancy, just the low plate counts. That's it. Like, nothing. I always had good blood pressure. I had just pretty good appointments. So this was very, concerning, but I was trying not to freak out because of my blood pressure. I didn't want it to keep going up and up and up. So yeah, after that, the blood work came back. They're like, yeah, you're giving birth tonight. They transferred me to another hospital that's like 5 minutes away because they have a better NICU at this hospital. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I get there. They checked me. My cervix was closed, so I couldn't give birth normally because I had to get the baby out now. Like, there was no waiting for me to be induced. Like, nothing. They told me, you're going to have a C-section tonight just to get the baby out fast enough. So that was also a big shock because it was very like quick, go, 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 and nothing was, it was scary. And it was in the middle of a snowstorm, so none of my family was there, just me and my fiance, and they didn't want family there just for my blood pressure and whatnot. I see little tiny contractions. I feel pressure. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm on like M sulfate or something. I was on that at first, and then they're like, okay, let's roll you into the C-section room. My fiance could not be in the room because I was going under. I was unconscious. Because of my low plate counts, I could not get the epidural. My play counts were at 51 at that point, and they said, we have to go, like, now. We have to get her out. They told my fiance, you can see us rolling her out of the room, and we'll stop, put her in the NICU right away. So that's what he did. He couldn't see the birth. I couldn't see the birth because I was unconscious, and it was just a very hectic day. So by about 9:27 p.m., she was taken out. She was born. So they rushed her to the NICU, and they had her on oxygen, but by the next day she was off of it already. She had a feeding tube and an IV, and that's it. I was stuck in a recovery room for 24 hours on morphine. I was so drained. It was unbelievable. I felt the pain after when they C-sectioned me, because I had to push a button for the morphine when they woke me up, and I had to start pushing it. So definitely I was like pushing it like crazy, but it ended up that I had HELLP syndrome, like the severe preeclampsia, and what that is just the exact things that I was having is what was happening, like the high blood pressure, the low platelet counts, the protein in my urine. I had them all, so that's why they knew what was going on, and that's why I had to give birth so early. Like the only way to fix it was to take her out, and after I gave birth, everything started going back up with me. My plate counts, I was getting blood work every 3 hours, 4 hours, and they were checking everything. And so for 24 hours, I didn't see my baby. And at 9:30 the next day, I finally got to hold her, and it was crazy. She was so tiny. She was 15 inches long, so she wasn't, I don't know, now she's 22, but she's a lot bigger now, and she's healthy. And we spent 3 weeks in the NICU. Started bottle feeding 2 weeks in. She was doing very good, so they were just like, from here on out, you know, we just gotta grow. She left the hospital at 4 pounds and about 6 ounces, I would say, somewhere around there. I'm just really glad when we came home. I was glad to be out of the hospital room because we stayed there. My fiance went home a lot more than I did, but he had to do laundry, and, you know, he had to go to work. She's healthy. There's nothing wrong with her. At first she had, her digestive system just had to keep growing because we would have to sit up with her after her feeds, and she spit up a lot in the NICU, but then I find after a while, after a couple weeks of being home, like, she barely spat up at all. Now she doesn't do it much at all. That's pretty much my whole birth story. I just wanted to explain a little bit about how it happened and what happened, and if anyone was ever curious about HELLP syndrome for preeclampsia, this is kind of like my story, and I hope it helps, because it's a scary situation when you don't know what's going on. And I'm just glad to be, like, if nothing would have happened, I could have died in the middle of the night, and she could have passed away, and that would have just been super terrible. So I'm glad I caught it in time. I'm glad I went to the hospital when I did, because I wouldn't have made it much longer if I wouldn't have went. So if you ever feel pain, any pain or anything unusual or throwing up, I would suggest going to the hospital, because it's scary. Like, anything could be happening, and I'm so glad that she came out healthy, and she's still healthy, and she's about 10 pounds now, and she came out at 3.5. So just, yeah, that's my story. So please like and subscribe for more mommy videos. If any other moms out there want to message me, I'll put my links down below. I have Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can follow and subscribe and message me directly on here, and I will answer. And if you have any questions about what happened, feel free to ask. Just please like and subscribe. Thank you.